The Minnesota Timberwolves have taken a 2-0 lead in this series against Denver the second round, and this is something that I don't think anybody saw coming. Maybe some people thought that they could maybe get a game in Denver that'd be at least 1-1. I didn't, and they've done it in the fashion they've done it makes it even more shocking to me. They're up 2-0, and yesterday was a beat down from the jump. It was bad. They held Denver to just 80 points, the defending champs to just 80 points. And it's not like Jamal Murray wasn't playing. It's not like Jokic wasn't playing. Not like Aaron Gordon wasn't playing. Not even like Michael Porter Jr. wasn't playing. They were all there. It was at home. You had the altitude. You had all that. And they just got blown out. Minnesota didn't even have a Rudy Gobert. This was a game. I put a little money on this game. It's just a small, like $5 bet. Nothing big. I was like, there's no way that Denver loses this game. I was thinking about putting more down than that, but I was like, there's no way that Denver loses this game. And they found a way to lose the game. And I think the credit needs to start being given to this Minnesota team to the point where, I thought they had a really good year, but I just couldn't get to the fact that they were as good as I thought they were. Like, I thought the Suns were going to beat them in 7 in that first round series. And I realized, and I was wrong, and I realized that this is why I was wrong, is because I just didn't account for how good Ant Edwards was. I didn't account for what he's becoming. Guys, he's becoming the face of the league. It's happening. You look at it, and when I first heard the Michael Jordan comparison, all that, I said, you're crazy. I said, there's no way that this is even close. This is an insult to MJ to even say this. You start looking more into it. He's like turned around this team. They might go to the finals. He's only 22 years old. He's been playing out of his mind. Gobert wasn't playing in this game. Like, they're really darn good. They're warranted of the seed that they were given. This is why they were at the top, and it starts with Anthony Edwards. He's been huge for them. Like, Karl Anthony Towns was always a good player, but he needed, like, the days where it was him and Wiggins, he needed more than that. He needed somebody to carry the load. That's what Anthony Edwards has done. And you look at the rest of their roster, and it's actually pretty put together. Jaden McDaniels, really, really good defender. Really scrappy defender. Does a great job there. Mike Conley, what an addition that is so untalked about. What Mike Conley is able to do for teams. Like, even in Utah, he almost lifted them past the first round. He was good there. Obviously, we know what he did in Memphis. He's been really, really good for him. He's been, like, really solid for that Minnesota team, and defensive. They're the best defensive team in the league. And if you really look at it, Denver didn't really have to play that many people last year. Like, they ran into a Lakers team that I'm starting to think wasn't as good as we thought, and they ran into a Miami Heat team that was an 8 seed. They played the KD Suns, who were still figuring it out last year at least. This is their biggest test in a while that they faced, and I think they just weren't ready for it, and series could be over. I don't know if they're going to win. If they don't win both games in Minnesota, it's as good as done. And like I said, I think Minnesota's got a serious shot to win the title now, and kind of out of nowhere. You mix their defense, but what the thing that scared me with them is I wasn't sure that Ant Edwards was going to make this jump in the postseason. You just can't be sure with some players, and it seems like he's got it. Some players just have that postseason mentality, and it's looking to me like he has it. And this could lead to big implications, but it's starting to look like, in a moment in the NBA where it looked like there wasn't going to be a face of the league, all of a sudden it's like, oh, it could be Ant Edwards. Yeah, like I could definitely see him being the face of the league for years to come now. And he's just playing out of his mind in the postseason when it matters. He's only 22 years old. He's the difference between this team being where they are or a 6 or a 7 seed. It's big. He's really carrying them. And they won 2 games in Denver, which is the toughest place to win in the NBA over the past 2 years. That or Boston. But I'm pretty sure if you look at the numbers, that's the toughest place to win in the past 2 years in the NBA. And they've won both games on the road, in that altitude, in Denver. It's very surprising to me. And, you know, I have to sit down here and I have to admit it. The Minnesota Timberwolves are a lot better than I thought. Anthony Edwards is a lot better than I thought. And they have a serious shot to go on a title run. Serious shot.